Hey, can we just address the elephant in the room, the fan portal this week for you?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
So, Michigan State guy, this is the big rivalry game. But if people have listened to this podcast, you've espoused that you're in the fan portal. And you've made some comments about your level of engagement this week. And I just want to start, hey, it's Monday, rivalry week.
Well, first of all, you and I have a show to do that day.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to
Saturday.
be a pro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sandbag you. I'll come to play. We're going to talk college football primarily.
Yeah.
Jim, I think this is another conversation at the wedding. And it was with one of my old tailgate group, a gentleman who's now in his 70s, but a guy I've known for 25 years. And I said to him, Dan, what's changed is they wanted pro football light. And then they're going to get mad when fans begin to act like pro football light. What do you see in the NFL when teams aren't very good? Empty stadiums. I don't watch the Giants when they're awful. I detach. Michigan State or college, no matter where you went, it's a part of you. For Jim, it's CMU, which all jokes aside, he loves his school. He enjoyed his time there. And I don't want to speak for you. I think you're like me. You view it that in a small way, your experiences there helped guide your life.
Oh, absolutely.
And launch your career.
Yeah.
I'll always love my time at Michigan State. But the more time goes on, as I get older, I am 42, my time is worth more. And that's not being a dickhead. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what you do or don't make, what your hours are or are not. Single, not. Kids, not. Your time is more valuable than a non-competitive or non-entertaining football team. It just is. Right. My time is very valuable.
Right, but you made comments like this week you may not be paying attention, and it's the rivalry game.
The plan is actually I may take my wife to dinner. I may just avoid the whole fucking thing.
See, and I think that's unacceptable.
Well, I really don't give a fuck.
Well, that's fine. You're a grown man. You can choose to not watch your team.
Okay, so help me understand. Watching this game, which, by the way, the opening line, I bet it last night when it came out, I took Michigan minus 23.5. It's up to 25. This is like accepting an invitation to watching your Aunt Rita get beat to death with a baseball bat.
We don't need the imagery.
Okay, this is me saying, hey, Grandma Mitzi, I am now going to attend you being beaten to death by 3 bums. That's what this is. Why? What do you want from me? The coach is already fired. Captain Wanks-a-lot, he's gone. There's no one else I can fire. And the kids don't deserve my support anymore because they don't even care about the school. Half these fuckers are going to leave. Why? Pro Sports Light. See, this isn't the old days where, hey, they're still battling for the university. You owe them. Man, I don't know shit. I'm out. What do you want me to do? Sit and suffer?
If it's bad, you can turn it off. But the fact that you're not even going to settle in for your big rivalry game, even when your team's bad, this team has found a way to hang in most years and not get obliterated by 50.
Except the years they've fired or are going to fire a coach. Look historically.
We just did this last week. Spartan Stadium. 1985 is the last time they got blown out at Spartan Stadium.
Right, so but how many of the games when they fired a coach have taken place
when there was
there?
A full moon? And
No, don't do straw man with me. You do the same shit with Goff and Daniel Jones. Don't do that. Work with me.
Okay.
Factually speaking, when they have let a coach go, Bobby, John L., D'Antonio the late years, 44-10.
Yeah, but you just brought him up. Who's still around the program right now? Who's going to give him some, BS speech about?
Has he? I don't know.
I'm saying for this game,
because I'll tell you right now,
Michigan with everything.
Right now,
in his
D'Antonio
body.
is in a competition with Harlan Barnett for who can look like the more blank-faced idiot.
But if there was one game,
by the way, Barnett's microphone was never down this week. Anybody notice that? What are you listening to? Fucking kids, Bob Harlan? Put the microphone down. Talk to someone. You blank moron.
Look, you're a grown man. You don't have to watch your team. You don't have to support your team.
Tell me why it's not on. Why it's acceptable.
But I just feel like there's one game a year, maybe 2 games a year, depending on your school, that you go, even if we suck, I'm going to start and watch the game and see what happens.
If we were rebuilding with a head coach and we were not having a great year, I'd absolutely watch. He's gone. These kids are entering the portal. It's going to be a Michigan home game. I went from saying if I'm a Michigan fan, don't go, to now I'm saying, hell, bring the whole family. Do whatever you want and light the match when you leave because there's nothing left. Normally it would be, hey, we want to bomb our rival because we're going to get this coach fired. The coach is fired. None of these assistants are going to stay. 40 of these players are gone. The team's horrific to watch. And here's the other problem. Excuse me, I have to adjust my table here. If they had held on against Iowa, or God willing, had held on against Rutgers, oh no, I watch. Because then you're talking about a team that's 4-2. You're talking about a team that's got something to play for, a little bit of momentum. They've sipped from the chalice of victory. I think this team is going to lay down and die. I don't think you recover after last week against Rutgers, and I'll save my full recap of that game for the Tuesday episode.
My point is, though, they lost to Iowa and Rutgers, not because they couldn't move the ball, because they did dumb shit.
How many yards they have on offense?
Horrifically dumb shit.
How many yards they have on offense against Rutgers? Couldn't move the ball. Go ahead.
We can pull it up.
No, I have
not
it.
a lot.
I have it. 239.
Right.
Is that moving the ball?
2 fumbles and, 3 fumbles.
But is that moving the ball? And why does it smell like cinnamon buns in here?
I don't know.
What the hell is going on? Did you bring a cinnamon in?
I didn't.
Did you get a gas station cinnamon bun?
I did not.
No, that's just pure diabetes.
Occasional cinnamon roll? You don't partake?
No one makes them.
And you can't do like the pop the top.
No. Now, I think the last one I had was my mom made cinnamon buns the morning of Christmas years ago, but I don't, it's not something I eat.
My point is MSU was up 24-6.
Yeah.
Blew it in a 6-minute span. Against Iowa, had the lead late in that game, blew it. I'm not selling you. Your team's good. We both know they suck. I told you to bet the under before the year.
So why do I have to watch it?
My point is, if there's a little bit of a shot that you hang around a little bit in a rivalry, you owe it to yourself as a fan to watch your team.
And
otherwise, don't be a fan. I don't know why you'd be a fan then.
Well, my point is, we're right back to it. The rules of being a fan in college have changed because they've ruined the sport. I don't have to care anymore. Now that I know these kids are only there because they're getting paid, now that I know they're only taking visits because they're getting paid, now that I know they can leave if they're not starters because they were promised they would be a start, you know what? Then I get to leave. I love how everyone used to clamor and go, well, how come coaches have a right to do this, but players don't have a right to transfer? Great. Now we've taken the guardrails off. It's a horseshit factory. Well, now as a fan, I've hit the portal. I signed up on Saturday night for online classes at Oregon State. I'm going to get a PhD from OSU. Go Beavs. And I'm out. I'm a Beaver fan the rest of the year.
By the way, starting to look like 9-1 going into Washington. Well, they have a nice stretch ahead of them.
That would be a nice consolation for what State has done to me. I have over 8.5 at plus 136 for several units. It would be a real nice hit for me. I'd feel great about it. Look, that was a big win on Saturday night.
It was a big win for them, and I feel a big win for Washington. I feel like if you go back and listen to that Pac-12 podcast, we were down on USC, up on the Beavers, up on the Huskies.
That's my big regret for the Tuesday episode. I should have had Notre Dame as the BGB. I should have loaded the wagon, and I let the wedding affect me. I didn't want to have that level of money on a wedding nuptials bet. I didn't want to be that guy. And we were sitting there, and I'm just like, this was free fucking money. That and the Pitt game are the two, and I'm like, fuck weddings. I could have been serious about my business, could have had several more units. Whatever.
I don't want to get to a point where we're complaining about wins that we didn't bet enough. We are hot. We are the hottest pod in America. It'll be on the recap episode.